We're Team Steam, and we are going to discuss the video game developer and digital game distributor, Valve. My name is Ethan, and I will begin by providing you with an overview of the company. Caitlin will then discuss Valve's internal operations, followed by Helen's discussion of the growing casual gamer market. Brett will then discuss our key recommendations for the company, and Alex will conclude our presentation. When Gabe Newell left Microsoft in the early 1990s, he set out to create a workspace where he could work with the brightest minds across a wide variety of fields. In 1996, he co-founded Valve Software around that central idea, never intending for the company to be a place of pure business, but rather a place where the brightest minds could collaborate in the development of unique video game and software delivery experiences. Today, Valve is both a highly successful video game developer and the market leader in digital video game distribution, having never deviated from its original purpose and remaining completely privately owned. Because the digital distribution market is still relatively new and evolving, it is difficult to get accurate measurements of the size of the market and what exact percentages are controlled by different companies. What is known, however, is that Steam, Valve's distribution platform, controls about 50 to 70% of the market according to a wide variety of measurements. Valve's commitment to its corporate culture has proved to be both its greatest strength and its greatest weakness. For while Valve's highly cooperative and innovative work environment have enabled the creation of games which capture the imagination of millions of gamers around the world, this same culture has also left Valve with a much smaller staff than most other developers, resulting in large delays between game releases and other internal processes. These long delays lead to the phenomenon known as Valve time, which is the perception that Valve's stated schedules for the development and release of games should be extended by at least a few months to more accurately predict completion. One possible solution to this problem may be to hire employees who specialize in keeping internal processes on schedule and deal with customer complaints and suggestions. Caitlin will expand on this solution later. Another important problem that Valve faces is the highly competitive nature of the digital distribution market. Although it has the dominant position, Steam's flaw is that it is too intrusive for the casual segment of gamers, who are the vast majority of gamers. Consequently, hardcore gamers are Steam's primary customers, and while hardcore gamers are far more profitable on a per-customer basis, Steam's lack of appeal to casual gamers is a glaring weakness that can be, has been, and is being exploited by its competitors such as Direct2Drive and Gamersgate, both of whom offer the less intrusive model of direct downloads of games over an internet browser. An obvious solution is to offer a service which is related to Steam but which offers games which are more appealing to casual gamers through the direct download model. On a related note, because of the increased prevalence of mobile gaming, Valve would be able to capture the casual gamers of that market by offering its scaled-down Steam service on mobile devices. Helen will discuss the casual gamer market segment later, followed by a more detailed look at our solutions from Brett. But first, Caitlin will expand on the problems associated with Valve's internal operations and discuss our solutions for those problems.
Thanks, Ethan, for that introduction of Valve. As Ethan mentioned, the digital distribution market is very competitive as such. An important component for any service given primarily online is how they deliver support to customers. In Valve's case, there aren't enough staff members to effectively give out support to its users. The company currently has around 200 to 250 employees. They don't have any employees set in the task of handling customer service issues. Usually the task seems to be put on to whatever employee has the time to respond. As one customer stated, it was impossible to get a human on the phone, could only leave voicemail. This is just one of the many complaints about its customer service availability, which could definitely hurt its reputation in the long run. This also branches out into the social media outlets it has. Valve does have a Facebook page in which they advertise upcoming events and games, but doesn't use it effectively. Within different post threads, customers have complained or brought up questions they have about Valve's new products, and no response ever follows. The much anticipated Half-Life 2 Episode 3 game seems to be something mentioned quite often on the Steam Facebook page, but due to a lack of employees working on customer support, at a required level of secrecy, nobody answers the questions on when users will see the game out. The lack of employees also hinders the company's ability to create this game. Another issue that could potentially hurt Valve is their inefficient servers. This will not only cause an increase in price for them, but could eventually bring problems to its consumers as well. According to Steam content server statistics, Valve owns and operates around 200 to 250 servers annually and all over the world. With power costs for individual servers at about 800 annually, Valve may face an expense increase as energy costs continue to rise. Its servers also play a vital role in its service to users. All of Valve's business processes are conducted through them, so that without upgrading this technology, the company puts itself at risk. Our recommendation for Valve would be to first increase its staff members, and then from there assign people the position of customer service representative as well as social media representative. At this point, employees already set in the positions of software development can work on projects like Half-Life 2 Episode 3 that have been put on the back burner. Another recommendation would be to update its current servers. This will not only help alleviate some of the energy costs in the future, but ensure the stability of the servers for its users. Due to their secrecy, we are not sure what kind of servers they have, but if older models are being used, they should update.
And just to recap on the marketing mix, due to Valve being a well-established, there's not much it needs to change in terms of its marketing mix. The only recommendation we have would be to increase offerings for the products available and increase the offerings to the growing casual gamer market. Along with this is the need to improve the way in which customer service is given.
Now that we've discussed some of Valve's internal operations, our discussion continues with a description of the casual gamer market and how and why Valve can position itself to serve this market. So what exactly is a casual gamer? Why are these individuals important to Valve, a company that has traditionally focused only on the hardcore segment? And how should Valve respond to this increasing segment? First, let's define exactly who these casual gamers are and what characteristics they embody. Casual gamers are individuals who play simple, mainstream, and uncomplicated video and computer game titles and often use gameplay to interact socially with friends. Casual gamers don't spend as much money per game or spend as much time to play a game in a single sitting as a hardcore gamer does. Additionally, casual gamers tend to prefer low-maintenance gameplay, that is, gameplay that doesn't require lots of complicated download processes or the use of a gaming platform such as Steam. Casual gamers also include anyone who might eventually become a hardcore gamer, because, let's face it, everybody's got to start somewhere. In this sense, casual gamers represent an untapped market of hardcore gamers, thus giving Valve a good reason to attract casual gamers to their products and services. Now that we've discussed who the casual gamer is, we need to understand why this segment is important to the future of Valve. Valve's traditional market position has focused on attracting hardcore gamers. However, the overall gaming market is increasing dramatically, but most of this increase is made up of casual gamers. In order to maintain and increase its market share, Valve must bring in casual gamers. Theodore Berquist, the CEO of Gamersgate, commented that, quote, Steam has pretty much locked in the hardcore market. On the other hand, if Steam has 5 million paying customers and there are 90 million PC gamers in the US, it's easy to see who you should go chasing for, unquote. The remaining 85 million gamers are casual gamers and include the increasing market segments of minority populations, the aging baby boomer generation, and female gamers. If Valve is able to capture the interest and the business of these increasing casual markets, Valve could potentially turn a portion of these markets into hardcore gamers and maintain the remainder as loyal casual gamers. Finally, why is this casual market segment important to Valve? Our team has identified Valve's lack of appeal to the casual market as one of its larger weaknesses. In order to draw in casual gamers, our team is proposing several solutions. First, we would advise Valve to create a simpler gaming platform similar to Steam and call it Vapor. Second, we would advise Valve to develop more of its games for tablets and smartphones. Brett will now give you a more in-depth look at these two solutions.
Thank you, Helen. But before we continue on, I think it would be wise to take a brief intermission just so we don't overwhelm our audience. Alright, considering the developing casual market that Helen described, Valve must take hold of this potential market before its competitors position themselves fully. To appeal to the more casual gamer, which is the largest not fully tapped market segment in digital distribution, Valve needs to create a parallel but separate service to Steam. While Steam itself does offer some casual games, the user interfaces and lack of serious advertising leave much to be desired for the casual user. Instead, we propose the analogous Vapor service, which will be like Steam in its most internal operating functions, yet will be usable without running a client in the background. Casual gamers want games now, and they don't want to be hassled with clients and other user interfaces. Vapor would be a web-based service, much like Steam's online and in-client store, and would allow account users to download and play games without signing in after the initial download. This method is similar to the direct-to-drive model, although Steam was developed to stop piracy through user access validation. Casual games are so cheap and rarely pirated, this absence of a client will likely not affect the piracy rates. As you can see from our rough prototype model, although Steam was developed to stop piracy through user access validation, casual games are so cheap and rarely pirated that the absence of a client will likely not affect their piracy rates. As you can see from our rough prototype model, Vapor would sport a lighter color similar to the white and silver of Apple's iTunes. This would contrast to Steam with its dark gray and black schemes, which usually appeals to the hardcore crowd. Advertisements on the store page would include mostly the cheap casual games, and there will be other advertisements mentioning Steam as a full experience for any casual users that may feel like becoming a more avid gamer. The game's account information will all be stored by Valve, so account transfer from Vapor to Steam would be an easy feature to implement. The separation of services is absolutely necessary here. both of these segments need different marketing techniques, and focusing a single client at both targets will potentially leave both parties dissatisfied. If Vapor is set up to allow access to some of the more simplistic games in the impressively large library already offered by Steam, some of the games could even be streamed or downloaded through a Vapor mobile application or a shopping experience available on mobile platforms like handheld gaming devices, smartphones, and tablet computers. To reach the plethora of casual gamers who play quick, cheap games on smartphones and tablets, the mobile version of Vapor could allow game streaming or even download the data packets of smaller games directly into the device. Of course, since most games offered on Vapor services are made by outside developers, this new Vapor library would have to be supported entirely by developers, inspired to code and recode their games to correctly function on mobile platforms. With the increase in indie and casual developers creating versions of their products to work on such mediums, there is no doubt that a Valve-sponsored gaming application, store, or streaming service will attract developers willing to create mobile-compatible games. While the mobile gaming market may not be as lucrative as Valve's current position, diversifying its marketing targets and positions will help hedge some of the risk associated with the quickly changing dynamic technology and entertainment markets. Now I'll bring it over to Alex, where he will tell us how this all ties together and give us a nice conclusion to send this presentation home.
Based on the issues, trends, and opportunities that have been discussed here are recommendations for Valve. Despite incoming competition, Steam is still the market leader and will most likely maintain that position. According to its president Gabe Newell, quote, "The idea that Steam is somehow the answer to digital distribution ignores the fact that every 2 or 3 years something is going to change dramatically," unquote. This change is most likely the fact that there are more competitors and that even more companies are looking to penetrate the digital distribution market. Valve will need to maintain its relationships with the hardcore audience while starting to position itself to attract the casual audience. We believe that through our recommendations, Valve can reach out to consumers' needs more efficiently as well as capture the casual market. Customer service is very important in the post-purchase phase of the consumer buying decision process. Valve needs to hire a community manager and people to manage the Facebook page to answer consumers' questions and help build and maintain relationships with them. Also, Valve will need to start opening up positions to have customer service representatives to pick up the phone. To capture the casual audience, we propose Valve develops Vapor, which will be used to take advantage of the ever-growing trend in the handheld market by using mobile devices. Recently, research has come out stating that 52% of casual gamers play on their phone. Currently, mobile devices have the majority of the market share in the handheld market, and the best way to reach casuals is through mobile devices. This is why Vapor will be developed so Valve can capture the casual audience. Another version of Vapor will be browser-based. With this, casual gamers will not be intimidated, and Vapor will let them play games through their web browsers rather than downloading a client. Vapor will advertise and show the deal of the day for casual games while having ads for Steam as well. We believe Vapor can be used as a stepping stone to get casual gamers to use Steam. Valve can develop a relationship with these casual gamers by leading them to become hardcore gamers and use Steam. Overall, these recommendations will let Valve attract more consumers and expand its already large 30 million user base. By putting more energy into customer service, Valve will be able to strengthen its relationships with consumers and not risk having any defect to competitors. Vapor will work to provide casual gamers with fulfilling experiences while leading them on the path to get the full Steam experience. Thank you for your time, and we hope you enjoyed our presentation. And with our close, we want to say the cake is not a lie.
Mission ends in 10 seconds.
Can you do that? Can you explode twice?